today's class. So today's class, I want to begin with a very, very important question. What is the purpose of asking Assam-based question in APSC? You can write in chat, you can say over the voice also, up to you. What is the main reason why APSC keep asking Assam-based questions? Anyone? It's a very basic question. You don't have to think so deep. Why is it so important?
Why is it so important?
To know better our traditional and culture, art and culture of Assam,
Yeah.
etc.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mahendra.
Okay. Thank you,
But
Mahendra.
one of the main reason
But
is
one of the main reasons is
your when you become a civil servant, you get posted to different parts of Assam. Now, I don't want to be a typical sounding northeastern, but then Assam has a lot of diversity in the state itself. Okay, and to know the diversity, you have to read Assam history, Assam polity, Assam geography. Not only in terms of land, not only in terms of people. We have a lot of diverse food cultures. We have a lot of tribes, communities, both non-tribal, tribals, and others as well, right? So we have to discuss, we have to know where this group of people have in the history, in the culture, how do they impact. So all those are important to become an Assam-based civil servant. All right, Prince Rongchan, you wanted to ask something or say something?
Sir, I wanted to say the same thing. Like, they ask most of the time so that maybe we know how to interact with the other peoples, with our own brothers from other tribes, so that we know them better about their history and culture, so that we can interact with them and work with them for their development and all.
Yeah, very good. So that is the main agenda of asking questions from Assam base. Okay. Now, if you look at the screen, I'll share the screen to you. If you can, you'll see in a while. Fine. Everyone can see the screen. Everyone can see. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, into 2022 paper, question number 2022 APSC General Studies paper, paper 1, History of Assam had 32 questions. That means 32% of your paper was on Assam based. Okay. Then in 2023, 38 questions. And the recent one, 2024, is 36 question. All right. 36 questions has been asked for Assam base. Right. Now you tell me, if you do Assam base, approximately 35 questions you can solve if you do it very well. So that is 70 marks on your hand. Okay, 70 marks on your hand. 70 marks is a big number. For some of you, it is directly qualification. STH qualification is how much? Can anyone type in the chat? Last year, what was the cutoff for STH? I'm not talking about ST planes or OBC or anything. STH cutoff last, since most of you are from STH category, what was the cutoff last year?
Sorry, it was 60, sir.
60? Okay. 62, 61 is the normal average, right? So 70 marks is already in your hand with Assam base. Okay. Now my logic is very simple. I want you to be so clear with Assam base that any questions that come on Assam base, you will solve at least. You might not get 35 on 35, but at least 30, 25 to 30 questions I want you in your hand, so that the rest 10, 12 you can manage. Now my target is, whenever you solve APSC question paper, your target, yeah, thank Tom. You wanted to say something? So the target is always to look at 100, okay? Out of 200, you should always try to look a cutoff of 100. Don't look at your category cutoffs, 60, 62, that is not my target. You should try 100 at least. Why I'm saying you is because that is the safe mark, okay? That is the safe mark. All right. So if you see the question patterns, 36 questions from your previous year, that is to 2024. 36 questions were asked from Assam base. All right. This is not just history of Assam, but Assam base. 36 questions, 38 questions from Assam base in 2023, and 32 questions in 2022. So it's a big number. Okay, so be clear in this class so that you don't have to revise again and again or get confused. If you have any confusion, raise your hand or type in the chat, I have a confusion on this. All right, fine. Now, before I start, what is the difference? What do you understand by prehistory, proto-history, and history? I want to ask one student from Difu, and I'll go through everyone. Okay, so I'll ask individually. Mr. Tangtong, tell me what is history? What do you understand by history? Tangtong.
So history is like our past, recording of our past, like what we have come through or like gone through in the past.
Okay, good. Then what is prehistory? Mahendra from Donka. What is prehistory then?
Prehistory is before of history, which they have not written records, and evidence is also as a mythology like that, son.
Very good. So prehistory means anything. Okay, prehistory means before history. All right, no written evidence. Okay, no written evidence is prehistory. Fine. Okay, history always has evidences. So history is the study of past, as Tengtong has mentioned, is the study of past with evidences. You will need some evidences, written evidences, some form of evidences you will need for history. Prehistory refers to any type of historical evidence or any type of historical study that does not have any written evidence. Okay, no written evidence, but through oral stories, through legends, through some, places like caves, we get prehistory. For example, the myth of Thong Nok Bay in Karbi history. Okay, what is it? It is probably a prehistoric character, okay, that has been modified into a myth, a legend. For example, Kajir Ronghangpi, okay, from where we get Kaziranga, the name of Kaziranga. It is also a prehistoric evidence, but there is no written evidence to it, so that we cannot be conclusive. We cannot be conclusive on the study. Whether she existed or not, we do not know, because there is no written evidence in any form at all. Now, I want to ask from Guwahati Center, I will ask Prince Medhi, what is proto-history then?
Sir, proto-history, it's all about like where writing exists but cannot be read.
Very
It's
good.
like, sir, for example, Indus Valley civilization.
Writing exists, okay, but cannot be deciphered yet. Okay, cannot be deciphered. Cannot be deciphered means buzi napai etialoke. Okay, writing exists, but we cannot understand so far. That is part of proto-history. And finally, history means study of past with evidences. What kind of evidences? Maybe writing, maybe archaeological, okay, and etc. So study of past with historical evidences. I hope you can see the screen, right? Fine. So that is the difference between the three. History is made of evidences. Prehistory refers to anything of the past that has no written evidence, but we still know about it through orals and legends. Proto-history refers to the time period where writing existed, but the writing cannot be deciphered in the modern times. And finally, history refers to the study of past with evidences. All right, fine. Now, in terms of division of history in Assam, we can segregate Assam history into four main parts. One is ancient history, that will also include prehistory. So ancient history of Assam begins from 350 AD to 1206. Okay, to 1206. Mark this down. Second is medieval history, 1206 to 1826. Then we have the colonial or modern history, 1826 to 1947, and finally the post-independence history, that is from 1947 onwards. So any confusion on this? Okay, any confusion on this? I hope there is no confusion. All right, so let's move on. We will start with prehistory of Assam. To understand the prehistory, we have to realize that there was a moment in our period of time when man used to look like the first picture here, like a monkey. All right, like a monkey. And if we study through some scientific background, that some of the times scientists say that we have evolved from a species, earlier species, which was ape, okay, which was ape-like, from the family of monkeys, and then over the years we have graduated to be a modern man. Do you know that modern man also is evolving as of now? As I speak now, modern man also is evolving. So there is a book, an Israeli writer. If you have known that book, an Israeli writer is there, where he wrote about human species evolving into the future. He says humans will have no hair in the future. So it is true. You can see by 35, 30 years, slowly and slowly, men, even women, are losing a lot of hair by 30, 35 nowadays. Okay, so it's a common feature to see a bald man right now. But in the past, in your father's time, or in your mother's era, or in your grandfather's era, bald-headed was very, very less. Okay, bald-headedness. Now everyone is suffering through baldness. So that Israeli writer wrote that in the future, humans will have no hair on their head. Okay, that is one interesting part that I'm telling you. So throughout the years, we have evolved. That's what the context is. Okay, so from all these are not very important for Assam base, but we have to understand that evolution of human took place. So in Assam also, evolution of human took place. That evolution period was known as your Stone Ages. Okay, Stone Ages. Stone Ages, why Stone Ages? Because people at that time used stones as tools, not like your machine guns, not like your phones that you have in your hand, but they used stones to live. So the classification of Stone Ages are Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. All right, Paleolithic time period was from 2.5 million to 8000 BC, where a species of human called Neanderthals and Cro-Magnons lived. Okay, so mark this one important. Who lived in Paleolithic? Neanderthals and Cro-Magnons. There was Mesolithic age, that was from 10,000 to 6,000 BC. They began to control fires and develop languages. Okay, these are the earlier human beings who are believed to have migrated from Africa to other parts of the world. All right, other parts of the world. They also started making clothes in this period. Then we had the Neolithic age, 8,000 to 6,000 BC, where only Homo sapiens lived. That is your present day species of human. You and I are Homo sapiens. You and I are not Neanderthals or Cro-Magnons. All right. In context of your, Karbi culture, you have this idea, no, that Tissos were a bit hairy, a bit jungly. You used to say that in Karbi culture. So that is relating to the previous idea that they might have been a different species of human being. Okay, right? Now don't go and tell your Tisso friends, oh, you're jungly, you're Neanderthals. Don't do that. That will be racism and discrimination. All right. So anyways, so Stone Ages are divided into Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, and Neolithic age. All right. From Neolithic age, we see people started settling down. All right, and this was a period of time when people settled in one place to permanently. Before that, they were moving about, they were gathering, they were hunting, and they moved around. All right, so Paleolithic age is the first. Mesolithic is the second age. Neolithic is the last age where early humans started settling down. I know in your Indian history you have already studied about Paleolithic sites. Today we will talk about the Paleolithic sites in Northeast. So earliest period of Paleolithic age comes from Rongram Valley in Garo Hills. Okay, please mark this important point. Rongram Valley in Garo Hills. That was the earliest period. Okay, that was the earliest period. Paleolithic site. It was from the Middle Paleolithic period, also known as Pleistocene. All right. One second. Let me admit. Okay. So the earliest Paleolithic site evidence is from Rongram Valley in Garo Hills. There are other sites also in the northeast. One is in Dafabum in Lohit district of Arunachal Pradesh, and Khangkui Mangsor. It's a cave in Ukhrul, which is north of Manipur. Okay, northeast of Manipur. If you see, you will see a place called Ukhrul, and there in a cave, Khangkui Mangsor is a cave where evidences of early man in the time period of Paleolithic, that was 2.5 million years ago, they had an evidence. So these are the tools that you can see on the screen. These are the tools that were used by Paleolithic men. Okay, any confusion here? Any confusion here? Okay, if no, then thumbs down. If yes, then thumbs up or hand, raise your hand.
No, sir.
No? All right. Okay, fine. So these are the Paleolithic sites in Northeast. So please mark these areas. Okay, please mark these areas. This will come as match the following also. In previous year question paper, we see match the following. All these names of Paleolithic sites, please mark it in your copy. Okay, please mark it in your copy. Fine. We know humans are different types. Some people look black and with curly hair. Some people look a little bit sharp features with big eyes, okay, wavy hair. Some people look like most of us in this classroom. Small eyes, less hair, okay? And some people look white and with blonde hair, okay? So these are the racial types that has been studied by a lot of anthropologists and scientists to differentiate that humans, although they are from Homo sapiens, we have distinctive characteristics. Although all of us are humans, Homo sapiens, we have different characteristics, all right, in terms of physical features. Now don't go and use these words on anyone else. This is only for scientific study. If you use, you'll get a slap back, all right? That's what you can expect from if you are teasing someone as Negroid or Australoid or Mongoloid. If you use these words in terms of public, you will get a slap, okay, on your face. So that's why I'm warning you, don't use this. This is only for scientific study, all right? The Neolithic sites, okay? Neolithic sites. So we have Paleolithic sites in Northeast. Mesolithic sites in Northeast are very few, so almost not countable. So that's why we are not jumping to Mesolithic sites in Northeast. However, Neolithic sites were there in the Northeast. That is the time period from 10,000 BC, 10,000 BC to your 4,000 BC. Okay, 4,000 BC. Sorry, 4,000 BC. All right, 4,000 BC. So in the hills, okay, in the hills mostly we find Neolithic sites. For example, again, Garo Hills. Earliest Neolithic site has been found from a place called Sebalgiri. Okay, it is still there. All right, you can visit Sebalgiri. All right, earliest Neolithic sites was from here. Then Daujili Hading in Dima Hasao, your neighbor from Karbi Anglong, has Neolithic sites. In Kamrup, Sarutaru and Marakdola, which is towards Bernihat from Guwahati, this is there. Okay, Neolithic sites are there. So you can see in the picture the tools that were Neolithic. It is still stone tools, but little bit polished, little bit nicer looking, little bit, with handles and everything, wooden handles or bone handles, they have used this. All right. So these Neolithic sites are attributed to Austroasiatic people from Mont Khmer. Anyone knows where Mont Khmer is? Mont Khmer, anyone knows where is this place? Neolithic sites in Northeast has been attributed to an Austro-Asiatic group of people who came from Mont Khmer, Dhonsing Road, Cambodia. Very good. Okay, Cambodia. All right. It is from Southeast Asia. Now, this is where the debate of Karbi people, called as Columbus of Assam, comes in from. Okay, Karbi people are not pure Mongoloids. Okay, they are not pure Mongoloids. They are a mix of Austriotic people with Mongoloid people. Okay, that is why many historians say that Karbi people are the Columbus of Assam. They say Assam because Northeast they cannot say, because the earliest evidence of Northeast people are from Austroasiatic group, who are the Khasi Jaintia group. Okay, who are the Khasi Jaintia group. All right, who are the Khasi Jaintia group. So they came from Mont Khmer region. Not they directly, not present day Khasi Jaintia, but their ancestors or their previous forms. Okay, they came from Cambodia and Southeast Asia, and they settled in the Northeast. And these sites are attributed to this group of people, Khasi and Jaintia, or Austroasiatic group of people. All right, fine. So among them will be some of your ancestors who were there. Then they got married into Mongoloid people, and that's why we have different features. All right, different features among the Khasi Jaintia as well as Karbi people. All right. So this is a news that we have got from Assam Tribune. Neolithic site was discovered where? Mostly in the hills of Assam, that is Karbi Anglong as well as the Mahasau. All right. This was from Dudhnoi River in Garo Hills, near Garo Hills. Okay. So again, Neolithic habitation has been found in the Mahasau. Okay. So Neolithic sites are marked by use of iron as well. Alongside stone, Neolithic site also has evidences of iron in the industry. All right. Fine. Fine. Now these topics are not very important for your prelims level. Just know the names of the places. Just know the names of the sites. Okay. Please mark the site's name. Neolithic sites, Paleolithic sites. And now we come to the megalithic sites. Can anyone tell me what is megalithic? What is megalithic? What is megalithic?
So giant stones where the ancestors worshipped, or it is a sitting place.
Okay. Megalithic means, mega means what? Big. Lithic means stone. Okay, big stone basically. Okay, so these big stones, if you can see in the picture, these were erected by some group of people. Okay, before the modern, before you and I, some people have erected, and across Northeast we have these big stones erected, particularly in Khasi Jaintia area and Naga and Mizo areas. We see a lot of these stones. So if you go to Meghalaya for tourism purpose, if you go to travel, you'll see on the roadside itself big stones. And even in Karbi society, among the Karbis of South Kamrupa, they have this culture. Even in West Karbi Anglong, we see a little bit of evidence of megalithic structures. Okay, now this was around 2000 BC. The megalithic culture was around 2000 BC. It is a precursor to fertility cult. Precursor means before. Okay, before the fertility cult began. What is fertility cult? What is fertility cult? I'll ask maybe Rimbi, Terangpi. What is fertility cult? Are you there? Miss Rimbi Terangpi? See, the idea of this class is not to sit quietly. Okay, it is to revise. It is to get your strength. Yeah, Sarlonki.
The worship of or reproductive organs.
The worship of reproductive organs. For example, give one example in modern day.
Shivling.
Shivling, yes, right? So before
Kamakhya.
Kamakhya is also another one from Northeast, yes. So before this fertility cult began, we had megalithic worship, we had megalithic culture where people would pray to stones. Why would they pray to stones? Can anyone tell me why would they pray to stones? Why our ancestors would pray to stones before? Can anyone tell me? What was the purpose of these megaliths? What was the purpose of erecting these stones? Those who have done Assam part, at least you can respond. Representation of something divine, says Sardhan Teron. What is that divine? What is that divine? Good, Sardhan, at least you're getting there. But what is that divine?
Sir, it's your ancestors.
Ancestors. This megalithic culture, these megalithic stones were put as a grave for their ancestors. That is why we still use, many tribal communities bury their dead. And these tribal communities, to mark their boundary, they put a little bit of stone or a plant nearby. Okay. Anjana says because they believe in natural elements as a god. Yes, that is one part. But the major part was they used to bury their ancestor, and on that burial they used to put big stones, okay, big stones to commemorate their or to remember their ancestor. If the ancestor was a huge person in the society, maybe like he was a big warrior or he was a strong warrior, the stone will be bigger according to the status. Okay, the stone will be bigger. Till now, even in Nagaland, if you go to a village called Khonoma, they bury their dead in their own plot. Okay, they don't have graveyards. Even though they're Christians, they bury their dead in their own plot and they erect a memorial. So you can look up in Khonoma. Okay, they practice this. So megalithic structure was found all over the Northeast. Okay, all over the Northeast. That means signifying that people buried their loved ones, their ancestors. Based on their status, they erected these big stones. Also, one of the reasons why megalithic stones were erected was to celebrate something important. If they won a war against other tribe or community, they erected the stone. Okay, they erected the stone. So those are the features of megalithic culture. So one feature was that to bury their dead, they used to put the grave on top of the grave. They used to put the stones. And the second one was to celebrate something victorious, celebrate something ceremonial also. Okay. So where are they found? Nartyang in Meghalaya. Nartyang, there is a place called Nartyang in Meghalaya. In the west of Manipur. West of Manipur means towards your Tamenglong district, where Ziliangrong Nagas live. Okay. Then Lianpui in Mizoram, southern Mizoram. Dimapur ruins. Okay, Dimapur ruins, although it came later, but it also shows megalithic structure where Kachari kings used to erect big pillars and stone pillars. Then in Phek district of Nagaland, eastern side of Nagaland, southeastern side of Nagaland. Then Khobak in Dima Hasao, where you see big jars as well and stones, big stones. And some parts of Kamrup, for example, Sonapur. In the hills of Sonapur, few Karbi people still practice erecting some stones. Okay, still it is going on, and some parts of West Karbi Anglong as well. All right. Fine. So this was the reason for megalithic culture in India. Fine. Like I said, purpose of megalithic structure. There are different types of megalithic structures. First one is called menhir, where a single stone was used for feast of marriage or burials. Okay, like I said, it was to celebrate something ceremonial, it was to celebrate something victorious, it was to also put graves. So these menhirs were put. Menhirs are what? Single stone. Please understand the differences here. Okay, understand the differences here, very very important. Single stone. Okay, single stone. It was single stone. It was also used for feast. What is feast of marriage? Anyone? What is feast of marriage? We have 40 students and one, you can try, no, at least one. What is feast of merit? Harlombi, what is feast of merit?
So it's like a feast which a particular tribe, or especially in Northeast, they celebrate as a feast of that.
When you do Hempu Aran and all those rituals in your culture, after the rituals, what do you do? Huh? You just sit, you just look at each other.
Rice.
You eat food, no?
We serve.
Yeah, you serve food.
Khana.
Big khana is there.
Food, yeah.
So Barakhana you can call, okay? That time, Barakhana of that time is called Feast of Merit. So menhirs were erected when something big happened or when something ritualistic happened. Like I said, if there was a war and they won, they would celebrate with a feast, okay? And also to bury their dead. That is one type of megalithic structure. So menhir, number one. Second type of megalithic structure is dolmens. So dolmens are flat stones in rectangle or circular shape, only for burial or sitting. Only for burial or sitting. Okay. Flat stones in circular or rectangular format. Okay. It was made for burial or sitting. Okay, it is to look like this. Okay, they'll put one stone here, one stone, or something natural like rocks like this, and they'll put a flat stone like this. Okay, for sitting or for burial. All right, so this megalithic structure has a purpose. It shows social cohesion, collective memory of the people. It is also intertwined with social fabric. It serves as a symbols of courage, victory, and community prestige. Okay, community prestige. So whenever a megalithic structure was put, it showed community prestige. That is why till now the Kuki population in the Northeast, if they win something, they still put rocks. You can see the example in what was that, Tumjang Peak. On the way to Tumjang Peak, okay, there is a village called Saikul. There you'll see the rocks still being placed. And present day megalithic structure concept is there in our graveyards, like Christian people, those who bury their dead, we write their names and everything. Though by the time, like, modernity came, so practices are still evident. Like for example, when Mr. Tuliram Ronghang wanted to inaugurate the flyover in Diffu, there is a stone, right, mentioning that so and so under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Tuliram Ronghang, not Mr. Dr. Tuliram Ronghang, we have inaugurated this flyover. So that is what? That is a concept of megalith structures. Okay, it is still there. The practice is still there, and particularly in Northeast, it is identity. Okay, it shows cultural identity of the people, of the tribes, of the communities. All right, so purpose of megalithic structures are huge, particularly for social cohesion, society, and identity of a community. All right, fine. Good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're enjoying the class, please like at least. Yeah. Fine. Okay. All right. So that is our prehistory. Okay, that is our prehistory in very, uh, very brief session. In half an hour, we have completed prehistory. Now let's come to our historical period. Okay, historical period. Now you have to know Assam history can be divided, or like I said, can be divided into four parts. Okay, in ancient history, today we'll talk about ancient history. So in ancient history, we had kingdoms. Okay, in ancient period of Assam, we also had kingdoms. Those kingdoms were divided into two. Okay, one is legend based or mythological, and the other one is historical. Now, what is historical kingdoms? Can anyone try? I have given the definition of history.
Which have evidence.
Historical evidence is there. Okay,
Which
that
have
was
evidence.
which have evidence. All right, fine. Then what is the mythological kingdoms?
Oral traditions.
Oral traditions. Okay, oral traditions. So we will start with the oral traditional kingdoms, okay, or the mythological kingdoms of Assam, ancient Assam. So the first kingdom, Assam, in the ancient period was known as Pragjyotisha. Okay, Pragjyotisha. Where do we get the sources from? From oral traditions. Oral traditions means stories from your grandmother, grandfather, grandparents, or before that, your ancestor, like the legend of Thong Nogbe, legend of Kaji Ronghangpi. How are you knowing all this? Through stories. There is no evidence to it. Okay, there is no evidence to it. Right? Then another written source is also there called Kalika Purana, which was written much later. Okay, much later means it evolved. It evolved through oral traditions into written. Okay, however, this kingdom, the first kingdom, have no archaeological evidence. Okay, no archaeological evidences are there for this earlier kingdom. But what does Kalika Purana say about Pragjyotisha? So according to Kalika Purana, the Brahma, Lord Brahma, he counted the first stars, okay, in a place, okay, that is your modern day Guwahati Kamrup area. So he's believed to sit under to sit on top of a hill, and he started counting the stars, it seems, okay, according to Kalika Purana, and that is why this place came to be known as Prag, means eastern in Sanskrit, and Jyotisha means astrology. Okay, that is why this area came to be known as Pragjyotisha. All right, or also known as city of Eastern astrology. All right, that is one theory. Theory number one under Kalika Purana. Theory number two says there was a group of people called Chautheas people. Chautheas people, they are believed to have migrated from present day Tibet and all these areas, and they moved into different parts of India. Okay, different directions. So one of the group came towards the Prague direction, that is eastern direction, and they used to call these centers where they moved as Zuthis. Okay, they used to call these centers as Zuthis. So that is how we get Pragjyotis. Okay, Pragjyotis. All right, that's how we get Pragjyotis. Now, there are other Puranas also. What are Puranas? Anyone can try? What do you understand by Puranas? What is Purana? Indian history.
All.
Don't just tell all. There might be something else. What is Puranas? All stories, yes. But what was Puranas? I want to know very clearly. You have done Indian history, I believe, with your sirs.
Purana is a novels.
Huh? Novel? Stories of gods? Only stories of gods? Huh? Puranas are only stories of gods. Puranas, like you said, had, I'm typing it here on your chat, had stories of gods as well as ethical teachings. Okay, ethical teachings means moral teachings, plus genealogies of kings. Genealogies of kings mean so and so Maharaj is descendant of this and that. Okay, those genealogies were there. All right, it was a literature. Puranas are what? Literature. Puranas are literature of Hindu mythologies. Okay. Yes, teachings based on oral stories passed on for generation. Yes, Ajang, you're right. You're right in that way. But Puranas also had genealogy stories of kings, kingdoms, and also gods, and genealogies of kings, and all those things, ethical, moral teachings as well. So Puranas have mentioned these texts were written by the Aryan people. Okay, Kalika Purana or all these Puranas are written by a group of people in the north of India when they came to north of India as far as Indian traditions go. And they started writing in Proto-Sanskrit. Okay, in Sanskrit we get, and then they mentioned about a place called Pragjyotisha. Okay, about this place called Pragjyotisha, which was the easternmost area from their area. And there are people who were non-Aryans, who were Danavs, who were, you know, also known as Asuras. Okay, so non-Aryan people were always known as Asura, Danava, or, you know, any other names that you can think of. What are the other names? Danava, Asura, any other names given? Kiratas, they were known as
Daitya,
Kirat. Huh?
Daitya,
Sorry?
Daitya.
Daitya, okay, whatever. So non-Aryan people were known as Danava, Asura, Daitya, and Kiratas, and all those, right? For example, what is the Karbi word for non-Karbi? What is the
Tarok,
Karbi word for non-Karbis?
Tarok,
Tarok, okay.
Kece
Kensang,
kebe,
Kensang.
kece kebe.
Yeah, so you use terms for non-Karbis, right? So similarly, during that period also, non-Aryan people used to give these names, Asura, Danava, like, who were non-Aryans, okay? Who were non-Aryans. So other Puranas, what are the other Puranas? Puranas are, again, I'm saying these are literatures, okay? These are literatures of Hindu mythologies, okay? That were written by Aryan people. So other Puranas that mention ancient Assam is Vishnu Purana, Naradiya Purana, Skanda Purana, Markandeya Purana, Agni Purana, Garuda Purana, Bhagavata Purana, and Brahma Purana. Okay, so please mark these names: Vishnu, Naradiya, Skanda, Markandeya, Agni, Garuda, Bhagavata, and Brahma Purana alongside Kalika Purana, which is the major text. Okay, because Kalika Purana was written in Assam itself. That is why it is a very big source of information, which was written much later. Okay, much later. Okay, not in the prehistoric time. It was written much later. So we have two theories of the name of Pragjyotish. Okay, please remember these theories. Thiers theory also is like relevant for your examination point. Now let's solve one question. Let's solve one question from 2022 alongside with me. Okay, you'll practice with me. Which of the following Puranas contains references to ancient Assam? What is the correct option? You can comment what is the correct option. Okay, which of the following Puranas, okay,
B.
answer is
only 4.
only 4. Who's saying only 4? Please look at the notes. Now you look at the question. Are you clear? Correct answer is D. All of them. Markandeya, Skanda, Naradiya, Vishnu, all are mentioned. Okay, all are mentioned. So yes, Anjana, very good. Depender, why only A? It's only all four. Everything has been mentioned. All right. So please mark this. So this was one question in 2022. Okay, fine. That's how it has been asked directly. Direct question. Whether you know, you know. If you don't know, you're in trouble. That's what it was. Right? Then we had another name of Assam during ancient period called Kamrupa. Okay, where is the source coming from? Gopatha Brahmana. What are Brahmanas? If Puranas are literature, what are Brahmanas? Huh? What are Brahmanas? I'm pretty sure you did Indian history. So what are Brahmanas? Guwahati students, we have done this very intensively, extensively also. What are Brahmanas? Puranas had
Sorry,
literature.
ancient prose text.
Sorry, Prince Mehdi, go on.
Sorry, ancient prose text.
Ancient prose texts. Hindu prose texts. Okay, Anjana, fine. Brahmanas are commentaries of the Vedas. Now those who have realizing, oh, I remember now. Brahmanas are commentaries. What are commentaries? What is a commentary? What is a commentary? Okay.
Saying.
Uh-huh. Thank Tom.
Given means giving moral what is right and wrong in ethical manner.
No, commentary means, see, Vedas were written in high Sanskrit or the older Sanskrit, right? So people could not understand. Okay, people could not understand. So the leaders or the scholars, they would, write in the sites. They will make Brahmanas like a dictionary. Brahmanas were like a dictionary, like they will write in the side or they will write, oh, this Veda is talking about this and this and that. So you have to follow this ritual in this way. Okay, fine. Those are commentaries. Okay, when you don't understand, what do? You look up Google. No, so Google is actually a present day commentary for all of our education. Okay, if you don't understand, you'll Google everything. If you see a new thing, you'll Google. So Google gives you that explanation. Okay, so the explanation of Vedas are mentioned in Brahmanas. Okay, that is a difference. Okay, fine. So Brahmana, in Gopatha Brahmana, which was written in the much later Vedic period, and Yogini Tantra, another text from Assam, which was written in 14th century AD, okay, and oral traditions talk about Kamrupa. Now we will touch one by one, okay. According to Gopatha Brahmana, Kamdev, who was Kamdev? Hindu people. I'm not even Hindu, but I'm aware of all these things. Who was Kamdev? God of love.
The god
God of love.
God of desires, God of love. Yes, whatever you can say. You can say the Indian version of Cupid. Okay, Romeo and Juliet. Cupid was there, in spirit wise. Okay, so God of love you can say. So Kamdeva, he angered Shiva. I will not go to the full story why the name came up to be. You can look up. But Kamdeva, in short, angered Shiva, and Shiva made him into dust or made him into ash. He just burned him. Bhasma, they say in Hindi, no. So just turned him into dust. Okay. Then because of Kamdeva's wife and all those stories are there. The place where Kamdeva took a face or Kamdeva came up as a form of spirit or as a new form was called Kamrupa. Okay, was called Kamrupa, and this Kamrupa is none other than our Kamrup as a as the modern day goes on. So Gopata Varmana talks about this story of Kamdeva, where Kamrup takes a form, physical form, or the spiritual form in this place. That is why this place is known as Kamdeva. According to Kalika Purana, which was the previous text, and even Yogini Tantra, it is said when Sati, when Sati was rejected by her father to invite Shiva, she burned herself. All right, and because of that anger, Shiva carried her body throughout the world, and the genital or the fertile organs, the fertility organs or the genital organs fell in this place on top of a hill. All right, and this place came to be known as the place where Sati's genital fell, and that place came to be known as the Kamrupa, according to Kalika Purana. Then there is a Santali word, called Kamru or Kamrut, who was a goddess or god in their culture, who was known for magic and necromancy. Anyone can tell me what is necromancy? Magic we know. What is necromancy? Necromancy is what?
It's like black magic.
Necromancy is black magic. So Santali word says that there was a god called Kamrut or Kamrut, who was known for practicing magic and necromancy. Now, why is a Santali word here? Why Santali word? If we look at the history of Assam, people will say Santalis came during the period of British as laborers from Chhattisgarh and all those areas. So why in prehistoric context we are learning, or ancient historic context we are learning about Santali people? Why? Santali group of people are also Australoids. They are not Negroids. They are Australoid group of people. So when their previous ancestors came from Cambodia, they passed through Northeast and they went to Jharkhand and all those places. All right. So that's why Santali word has been used, Kamrup. Kamrut or Kamrut. So from there also we get, this was the place of Santali god called Kamru. He was residing here, so that's why Kamrup was there. So which is debatable. These are oral traditions. These are oral traditions. All below are oral traditions, this three. Now, this is the name of Kamrup. We know that genital organs of Sati fell in place called Kamakhya. All right. The temple of Kamakhya, that is where we still worship the fertility goddess. But before Hinduism came inside Assam, before the royals accepted Hinduism, there was a Khasi word. This area, the present day Kamakhya area, was inhabited by Khasi Garo people at that time, because Khasis are Australoid group of people. They are descendants of Australoid. So some of the villages were there. Until now, if you see on the opposite side of Kamakhya, there is another hill, that is Maligaon, railway, all those colonies are there. On top of that hills, on that side, opposite of Kamakhya, Garo people are still there, called Adingire. There is a place called Adingire. Although they all have become Christians in the later years, but Adingire people were known to be the priests, the first priest of Kamakhya temple. I'm not telling it out of Hawa, or I'm not telling it out of praising the tribals, but they were known to be the priests because I have met an individual from there who was a Garo man. He was the head priest of Kamakhya for more than 25 years. So those stories are there. So Khasi says the word Kamakhya comes from their word called Kamakhya, meaning the paternal grandmother. Paternal grandmother means father's mother. Father's mother. Now we know mother or women are celebrated in these two communities so far. We know that till now, even if they have changed their religion, they still follow their culture in that way. Mothers or women play a big role. So they used to worship, it seems. And similarly, Garo had this word called Kamakhya, meaning victory to my mother. So there were few matrilineal group of people in this area who used to climb the present day Kamakhya temple and worship their ancestor, their mother, okay, their mother in the hill. Okay, they used to worship their grandmothers, they used to worship their mother because they are matrilineal society. All right, so this is an oral tradition that says Kamrup had, or the place where Kamakhya is situated is from these cultures. Okay, so that is why Kamakhya itself, if Sati's organ fell in the Kamakhya hill, so why do we worship Kamakhya, right? We should have worshipped Sati directly, no? You ask this question to yourself. If you're a believer of Kamakhya cult, why do we worship Kamakhya, not Sati, in the temple? So people will say Kamakhya was a deity from this area, local deity. Yes, it is evidently true because oral traditions are there. Which oral traditions? Khasi and Garo are just saying, Garos are saying the same thing, that there was a worship. We had this cultural god called Kamakhya or Kamakhya. Okay, from there it got Sanskritized and then it became Kamakhya. So you ask this yourself. You do your research yourself. If Sati's organs fell, why do we worship Kamakhya then in the temple? Why not Sati directly? So ask this yourself a question. I'm not trying to bring any divide. Okay, my idea is not to bring any divide in the religion. My idea is to ask you questions, strong and strict questions, so that you understand the concepts. All right. So in the recent news, there has been debate going on that Guwahati was a tribal land or this and that. It is true. Okay. Whoever is saying that, it is true actually. Guwahati was originally tribal area. Okay. No offense to the others, but it was. Okay. That is the truth. So all those Garo, Khasi people are just surrounding those hills till now. All right. Fine. So we know the origin of Kamrup. We also got a little bit of story of Kamakhya from three cultures. Okay. From three cultures. All right. Fine. Now, according to Yogini Tantra, the text which was written in late 14th century, Kamakhya, or not Kamakhya, Kamrup, the ancient kingdom of Kamrup was divided into four parts. One was Kampit, that was between river Karatoya to Sankos. Karatoya river is in Bangladesh now. Okay, it's in Bangladesh now. To Sankos river, which is the border of Assam and West Bengal. Okay, Ratnapit was between Sankos to Rupohi. Rupohi is in your Dorong district. Swarnapit from Rupohi to Bhorali. Bhorali river is in Tejpur, Sonitpur area. And Somarpit, which was from Bhorali to Dikrong. Dikrong river is North Lakhimpur district. All right, fine. So it was divided from west to east. Okay, Kampit is the westernmost region. Somarpit was the easternmost region. Now, what type of questions can you get? They might ask you, arrange the following regions in terms of directions. Okay, for example, arrange these regions in terms of east to west or west to east. So you might get those type of questions. I hope this is fine. So tell me, which is the easternmost region of Kamrupa according to Yogini Tantra? Or let's just arrange from east to west. You can chat, you can put it in the chat. From east to west. Arrange the Kamrup areas according to Yogini Tantra from east to west. I'm waiting. Ratna. Was Ratna there? Somar, Swarna, Ratna and Kampit. Hugely good. Somar, Swarna, Ratna, Kampit, Ajang, okay, good. Harlong, be good. Again, Anjana Bora, you're making this mistake. Kampit was the westernmost. Okay. Now, if you do west to east also, that can be also be asked. So from west to east, ka, ra, swa, so. Okay. If you have to remember, ka, ra, swa, so. Okay. If you want to remember mnemonics wise. Okay. Fine. So this was the division according to Yogini Tantra. Very, very important. Okay. Just know the rivers also. Which rivers? Okay. Very, very important. The rivers. Okay. Rupohi to Bhorali, Bhorali to Dikrong. Which Somarpit, or you can get statement also. Somarpit falls under Rupohi to Bhorali. Is it true or not? All those type of statement types question also you might get. Okay. Fine. I'll send the text, don't worry, but in class also you try to note down in your copies, okay, so that you can relate with the class and enhance your learning. So the first dynasty, which is from the mythological part, okay, these are based from myths, these are from mythical, or these are from legends. So first dynasty mentioned is the Danava dynasty. Like I said, non-Aryans were known as Danava or Asura or Daita or whatever. Okay, so the first dynasty king was known as Mahiranga Danav. Okay, he was a Kirata chief, like I said, Kirata. Now, many people will say Mahiranga is a Boro word originally called Mairong. Okay, Mairong. Sorry, Mairong. Okay. The origin is Boro. Okay. Mai means paddy. Rong means to remove the husk. So what does it mean? Why was he named like that? Can anyone try? To remove from the husk of paddy fields. Why was he named like that? Mairong. What is the meaning of Harlongbi in Karbi? I'm asking Harlongbi, your name. What is the meaning of your name in Karbi? If you don't know, please find out your names.
It's our ancestors who made the rules and regulations of our Karbi traditional marriage.
Yeah. So see, there are meaning of name, right? What is the name of Anjana? If you don't know, please do well versed on your names, okay? Because these are interview level questions. If you go anyway get into interview, they will ask, what is the meaning of Harlongbi? What is the meaning of Tengtom? What is the meaning of Jirbon or Hakim? Okay, so you have to know. So cultural names, that is why it is very important. Cultural names are direct representation of what happened. Okay, cultural names are directly from your culture. Okay, so Mairong is a cultural name, meaning he was born in a paddy field. Maybe his mother was working in the paddy field, and then she was pregnant and she gave birth to Mairong in the paddy field. That's why his name means Mai means paddy, Rong means to remove the husk, meaning in the paddy fields. While removing the husk, I got this baby. Okay, so Mairong. So it comes from a Boro word, okay, which was Sanskritized into Mahiranga. Okay, now Kiratas, who are Kiratas? They are non-Aryan hill people. Okay, the meaning says non-Aryan hill people. They are also known as degraded Kshatriyas, meaning any people, warrior people who were not Kshatriyas were known as Kirata. And other mentions also says in Sanskrit, people with lion's character. Okay, people with lion's character are known as Kirata. Why people with lion's character? Meaning they were brave people. They were courageous people. Okay, they did not were not scared of fighting a war. All right, and this king Mahiranga or Mairong, made his capital at Mairangko. Now, where exactly is this capital? Till now, people cannot say, but some say it is near the hills of GMC. Some people say, okay, present day Guwahati, near the hills of GMC, somewhere there. Some say no, he is from the southern Assam, that is towards your Barnihat and all those, whatever it is. But oral tradition says that he existed. Okay, he existed. Oral traditions. He was a Kirata chief. He was a non-Aryan from the hill. Okay, he was known as Mairang or Mahiranga Danav. So he was the first known ruler. Okay, first known ruler. Okay, keep this in mind. So after him, he had few, descendants called Hatakasur, Sambasur, Ratnasur, and Katakasur. It's simply Hatakasura, Samba Asura, Ratna Asura, and Ghataka Asura. All right, those were the kings that were mentioned in the oral traditions and mentioned in the Sanskrit texts as well. Okay, that is your Kalika Purana and all those. Okay, fine. So I want to ask you a question. What is the present day word for people like that, people like Mairong? What is the present day word? In Assam, at least. What is the present day word that Aryan people used to give, no? Danava, Asura, that what is the present day word for northeastern or people like that, like Mairong? The hill people, what is the word? Huh? No, I'm not asking about the past. In the past, they were known as degraded Kshatriyas or Kshatriyas. I'm asking in modern day. What do you call these people in modern day? I'll give you a hint. They're short-tempered.
ST.
They're tribal or ST. Okay, that is the modern word for these people now, at least in Northeast context. Okay, so hot-headed, short-tempered. No wonder they got ST status. All right, fine. That is your present-day word, actually. Anyways, so these are the first kingdoms. These are the first rulers. Keep this in mind also, this box. Okay, it can be asked to arrange the kings, the first kings, according to the ascending order or descending order. What is ascending order? From the first to the last, and the last to the descending means last to first. Okay, that can also be asked. Please keep this in mind, this concepts, the names at least. All right, fine. The last king of this Danava dynasty was Ghatakasu. So he is very important. Okay, he is very important. Now Danava dynasty was eradicated by a king called Narakasur. Okay, by a king called Narakasur. So Ghatakasur was defeated by Narakasur. Now this is a very, very interesting dynasty called the Bhauma Dynasty, which began ruling, okay, which began ruling in Northeast. And this is the beginning of Aryans coming inside Northeast. All right. So Bhauma Dynasty or the Kamrupa Kingdom during that time. So mythologically, he was son of Bhudevi, also known as Earth, Bhumi, okay, Bhudevi, and Varaha, which is the third avatar of Vishnu. What is the third avatar of Vishnu? Varaha, but what was the form?
Pig.
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 It's not pig, it's wild boar. Okay.
It's wild boars, yes, sir.
Don't just say pig, it sounds insulting. So it's a wild
Sorry,
boar.
sir.
Okay. Wild boar. Okay, wild boar. All right. So he was brought up in Mithila, which is Videha, that is your present day Bihar. Okay, by a king called King Janak. So mythologically, he's known to be born of Bhudevi, of Earth. Mother was Earth, and Varaha, that is the boar form of Vishnu. He was born in this order. Is it possible? Can a pig and a earth, that is like, your 30 or your where you're walking, can they give birth to a human? Is it possible? Logically, I'm asking. I'm not offending anyone, but logically, I want to ask.
So no.
No. So what is this story all about then? Why the story was written like that? That he was born of Bhudevi and Varaha form, the wild boar was the father. Why was it written like that? See, mythologies and oral traditions and legends are romanticized. You know what is romanticized? When you write love letter to your girlfriend or boyfriend, you don't write it "I love you" like that. No, you'll mix words like the sky, how it lights up in the morning sun. That is your face, like that you write. No. So similarly, glorification. Yes, Densil, good. It was glorification. We use glorified words to praise someone. We use glorified text to praise someone. For example, under the dynamic leadership of Narendra Modi, okay, honorable directorate, whatever, Narendra Modi, we have come this way. Why do you have to use the word called dynamic leadership? It's glorification. Okay, so those texts were written in glorified format, but the main story, if we think logically, he was found in a forest. Okay, Narakasur was found in a forest. That is why earth is mentioned. And near to him was the wild boar. Maybe the wild boar wanted to eat it, or maybe the wild boar wanted to, fell something and try to protect it from something. Okay, and during that time, King Janak was hunting. And when he saw the baby, he told the poets that I have found this baby like that. And these poets were poets, poets, how they're all Devdas and all those nonsense, like, romanticized. So they must have written this story. I'm not saying nonsense. Poets are not nonsense. They wrote in a romanticized text that he was born of earth and the father was Varaha, the wild boar. Maybe when King Janak wanted to hunt the wild boar chased more. Okay, so the protector was Varaha. So these are made up, or these are very, very glorified texts. Okay, so he was brought up. So the King Janak might have probably brought him back to Mithila and kept him in his kingdom. And under King Janak, he grew up as his own son. Okay, Narakasur grew up as his own son. He learned all the ways of a king, an Aryan king that too. Okay, and once he became old, he started saying, Daddy, I also need some land. I also need to rule. So he came towards the east, defeated Ghatakusara, and made Pragjyotispur as the capital. Okay, and alongside with him came the Aryans, who were not the original people, but they came with Narakasur. Okay, they came with Narakasur. Fine. So who brought the Aryans in northeast? Narakasur. Okay. Fine. The first Aryans to come to northeast was with Narakasur. All right. Now, why was he named Narakasur? If he grew up in an Aryan family, why was he still named Narakasur? Actually, he got a Hindu name. He got a Sanskrit name when he grew up under Janak. But later on, he made himself Narakasur. Why?
Because he was not in sync. He was not in sur.
When he realized that he is not the real son of King Janak, okay, when he realized that, yeah, that is there. When he realized that King Janak had other sons also, and they did not like Narakasur because he was very brave in fighting. He was a good warrior, so they did not like him so much. Okay, that is why when he learned that kuch nahi hoga mera Mithila mein, they will not give me any land to rule or anyways. So he realized his own origin, that he is not really an Aryan. He came from the forest. Maybe he was an Adivasi of that time, or whatever you call it. He was not really an Aryan. Okay, but he was just brought up in an Aryan family. So he was adopted. He realized that. And soon when he started getting inside Northeast, he started becoming very non-Aryan. We will talk about that in some time. He became very non-Aryan, and he was like, I'm no longer Aryan king, I'm Narakasur from now on. So that's what he gave himself the title. All right, title. The first story The first story is the story of Kamakhya. Now, as we know, Kamakhya was a local deity, okay, a goddess, all right. So the story says, anyone knows the stories? If you know, please
Yes,
raise your
sir.
hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Sir,
I will
marriage
ask,
proposal.
yeah. So Narakasur made it, fell in love with Kamakhya. In short, I'm telling you, okay, you can look up to you, but it is not very important, the story. So Narakasur fell in love with Kamakhya and asked Kamakhya's hand, and Kamakhya said, like, see, if you want to get married with me, I have some standards, and that standard is you have to build a road to the hill. Okay, which hill?
Sir, Nilachal Hill.
Nilachal.
Nilachal Hills. Okay, so you have to build a road for me. I have this determination if you want to get married to me. So Narakasur said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So he was doing it and almost completing when Kamakhya realized, Are, this guy is almost completing. Now, if I have to get married to him, what a shame it will be for me, right? So what she did is, what did she do according to the story?
So uh, so before the sunrise, she gave I mean, sir, hand to
Does it?
কুকুৰাটোক আগতে মাত মাতিব দিছিলে আৰু
Yeah, yeah. She made the cock crow. Okay. She made the cock crow. Now realizing that, oh, sun has come up because roosters or cock really crows in the morning. So realizing that, Narakasur said, okay, done. And but that was a ploy of Kamakhya. She deceived Narakasur, and because of that, he got angry and he cut that kukura in that place. What is this place called? Kukurakata Pahar, or on the way to Nilachal, there is a place called Kukurakata. Okay, so he realized that it was a deceiving plan of Ma Kamakhya. Okay, so that made him angry, and he cut the cock into two pieces. That is why that place is known as Kukurakata. All right, so that is one story of Narakasur. Okay, the second story is his best friend from northeast called Banasur. Okay, who was Banasur? Anyone from Tejpur? Who was Banasur?
King of Singapore.
King of Sonitpur. Okay, he was another contemporary king during the time of Narakasura, who was ruling in the eastern side of Kamrup, that was Sonitpur. He was ruling there, and another king was there east of them. Who was he? Guwahati students, I'm asking. We'll discuss all the kings, don't worry, all the ancient kings. These are prehistoric kings, okay, by the way, mythological kings. Guwahati student, which was the easternmost kingdom during that period? Huh? Bhismak?
Sir Sotia.
Bhismak? King Bhismak? Okay. So there were three kings during the time of Narakasur. One was Narakasur, who was ruling from Kamrup. The second one was Banasura, ruling from central Assam. And the last one was King Bhismak, ruling from the eastern side of Assam. Okay, King Bhismak. Now Narakasur made very good friendship with Banasura. And as usual, if you come to Northeast, till now, if anyone comes from outside, let's just say South India, North India, when they come to Northeast, they fall in love with this place. They fall in love with the food, the culture, right? So similarly, Narakasur, who came from Bihar side, got influenced by Banasura, his best friend. They went drinking together. They were hunting together. They were chasing Ma Kamakhya together. Okay, everything was going on. All the typical boys trip. Okay, he was having the best of his lifetime. And because of all these influences of Banasura, Krishna was angry with Narakasur. Why was he angry, Krishna? What made him angry so much? It's okay, boys hang out. So what was the problem then? What was the problem of Krishna uh, that he had problem with Narakasur? Why? Tell me.
because maybe like he have been cruel to the people.
You don't know that. No historical evidences are saying that he was cruel to the people or anything. Krishna was the defender of faith. Okay, Krishna is known as the defender of faith in Hindu mythologies. All right. Any Aryan trying to be non-Aryan is going against the principles of Aryanhood. Okay, it's going against the culture, it's going against the faith, right? So he saw this Narakasur, who is an Aryan, and he is mixing with non-Aryan and becoming so evil, so uh, drunkard, alcoholic, whatever, eating meat here and there, whatever random meat, whatever they get, because Banasura is Banasura. He was from the hills. They say from Arunachal, so probably a Arunachali friend he met. So they must have done all that. So because of that, Krishna was angry with Narakasur, and there was a battle. Okay, there was a battle. So Krishna comes to Assam in a place called Ashwaklanta. Okay, where is this place? Where is
Nagaon, Nagaon district. Nagaon
Ashwaklanta?
district.
Not Guwahati. Okay, not Nagaon.
Not
It was
Guwahati.
in North Guwahati. There is a temple still on the northern side of Guwahati. All right, this temple Ashwaklanta, and he came with Krishna. Came, and there was a battle. Okay, there was a battle between Krishna and General Mura. Who was General Mura? Guwahati students. Who was General Mura? There was a huge battle in Guwahati between Krishna and General Mura. So General Mura was the commander of Narakasur. Okay, he is known as the commander of army of Narakasur. So when the battle happened, Krishna defeats General Mura. From there on, he takes the title called Murari. All right. From then, he takes the title called Murari. Okay. What title Krishna takes here? After
Murari.
defeating General Mura, he takes the title Murari. Okay, that is why he is also known. Krishna is also known as Murari, the defeater of the victor over Mura, General Mura. So where are these sources coming from? These are coming from epics. What epics? All the epics that we have, all the texts, all the Sanskrit texts that we have. Okay, so this was the tale of Narakasur. Any questions in Narakasur? Any questions in Narakasur? Who was the first known king of Northeast or Assam?
Mahiranga Danav.
Mahiranga Danav.
Mahiranga, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mahiranga Danav. Okay. What is the meaning of Mahiranga? I will ask one by one. What is the meaning of Mahiranga? I will ask, let me see, so randomly I'll ask Ramon Teron. Ramon Teron, what is the meaning of Mahiranga? Ramon Teron. If you're speaking, you're on mute. What is the meaning of Mahiranga?
Mahiranga.
Huh?
It was the first king of the Danava dynasty.
Yes, we know that. But what is the meaning? What is the meaning of Mahiranga? Sanjoy Tisso, can you explain the name of Mahiranga?
Sir, right now I don't know, sir.
Not paying attention or what? Okay. I'll ask Hi Hello. Very interesting name. Hi, hello. What is the name meaning of Mahiranga?
Oh, sir, as far as I remember, Mahiranga means Mahi means paddy,
Mm-hmm.
Ranga means remove from husk, something is there. And
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, sir, but Danava is, I'm sure that it is non-Aryan.
Okay, okay, good. At least something you know. All right. So Mahiranga comes from a Boro word called Mairong. Okay, Mairong means paddy. Mai means paddy. Rong means to remove the husk of the paddy. Okay, that is why he was named as Mairong. And later on, when it became Sanskritized, his name in Sanskrit became Mahiranga. Okay, Danav, and Danava theory is fine. All right. So this was the tale of Narakasur, and the first known kings that we have. Okay, the first kingdom. What was the first kingdom called? I'll ask after Akinoa Azumi. Akinoa Azumi, the Japanese character in our chat. Which was the first kingdom?
Sir, it's Danava Dynasty.
Danava Dynasty. All right. The second kingdom, Anjana Bora. The first known kingdom was Danava. The second kingdom was known as what? Anjana Bora. The name of second kingdom started by Narakasura. What was it known?
Sir, Bhauma Dynasty.
Why was it called Bhauma Dynasty? I want to ask. Uh, I'll ask Densil. Why was it called Bhauma Dynasty? Densil Kathar.
Yes, sir. I cannot recall at the moment, sir.
Okay, Dipender. Why was it called Bhauma? Dipendra Senar.
Solo power.
Pahoris. Then Jirmi Teronpi. Why was it called Bhauma Dynasty?
Sir, because he was born,
Born?
he was born in on Earth.
Yeah.
Uh, sir, I can only remember this much.
Yeah, you're there. You're correct, actually. He is born of earth. Okay? Bhumi. He was the son of Bhumi Devi. That is why Bhumi, Bhoma means earth, born of earth. Okay? Born of earth. Alright? So this was the context of Narakasur. Alright? Narakasur. Let's come to his best friend. No. Let's come to his the second king of Bhauma dynasty, Bhagadatta. Okay, this is very important this time. Why it is important? Bhagadatta or Bhagadatta. Why this king is important?
Sir, Guwahati flyover.
Guwahati flyover.
Flyover bridge.
Yeah. So Bhagadatta was the second king of Bhauma dynasty, who was known as the son of Narakasur. Okay, son of Narakasur. He was known as the mighty king of Mlecchas. Who are these Mlecchas now? Anyone? Mleccha? Who are these Mlecchas?
Missing, maybe.
Hey, missing. Mek. Okay.
Mek Kacha.
Mek Kosari. Okay. Mlecchas are present day Mek. Okay, Mek. In Nagaland also they are there. In western part of Assam also they are there. Mek or Mes. Okay, Mes Kosari. Okay. So again, non-Aryan. Bhagadatta was the mighty king of the Mlecchas. So in Sanskrit, Mek Kosari was known as Mlech or Mlecchas. Okay, fine. He got different titles. So one of them is mighty king of Mlecchas. Second was not inferior to Chakra or Indra in battle, meaning he was not inferior to Indra in battle. That means he was equal to Indra in battle. He was also known as the title Best Wielder of Elephant Squad. Best Wielder of Elephant Squad. Okay, he was known for an elephant squad. Why elephant squad? Why Bhagadatta had a lot of elephants? Give me one reason.
হাতীয়েদি যুদ্ধ কৰি থাকে
সেইটো হাতীটো ক'ৰ পৰা পালে? আকাশৰ পৰা আহিছে নেকি হাতী?
So he married someone.
হা?
So কাবাক বিয়া পাতিছিল চাগে যে বহুত হাতী আছিলে। এনেকে কিংডম পৰা।
There is the availability of elephants.
Availability of elephants in Northeast. এতিয়াও দুইখন হাতী গৈ থাকে West Karbi Anglong, Nagaon. ইমান হজাই ফালে ডেমেজ কৰি থাকে Karbi Anglong. Karbi Anglong, that Doboka Junction. Go early morning in winters. You'll see hati every time. Right? So hati is available in Northeast. That is why.
Sir, because the 8-day battle against Arjuna.
Huh?
The 8-day battle against Arjuna.
I don't understand. I'm just asking a simple logic. Northeast location itself has a lot of elephants. Okay, it's an elephant corridor, and they learned from those times only. They learned to tame hati. Okay, if Kazirongahangpi can come on a rhinoceros, who is Bhagadatta, right? I'm not praising the Karbi people right now, but then we have stories like that, no? So elephant was tamed in that period also from the Northeast. Okay, elephant was also tamed. So he was the best wielder of elephant squad. His elephant, very important, Supratika. Okay, his elephant was known as Supratika. Remember this name, very important. All right, he is also called Sailalya or mountain dweller. Okay, he is also known as Parvatapati, meaning Lord of the Mountains. Also known as Purva Sagaravashi, meaning Eastern Sea dweller. What does it mean? Where was sea in Northeast then? Why was he given this title? Eastern Sea dweller.
Bay of Bengal was controlled by him.
Huh?
Bay of Bengal was controlled by him.
His empire ranged from the mountains of Northeast to Bay of Bengal. So he was a huge king of East at that time. Okay, that is why Purva Sagara Vashi, Eastern Sea dweller in Brahmaputra, in Mahabharata. Then he also has the story of Diguli Pukuri. Anyone knows this Diguli Pukuri story? In Guwahati, we have a Pukuri called Diguli Pukuri. Present day size of Diguli. Present day size is not exactly what was in historical times. It was much, much bigger. Who was known as the story? Who has idea of Diguli Pukuri story?
Sir, ভগদত্তই তেওঁৰ তেজীয়েক ভানুমতীক বিয়া দিয়াৰ সময়ত এই পুখুৰীটো খন্দুৱাইছিল নেকি? খন্দুৱাইছিল হয়।
Yeah, you're there. Okay, that is the story. During the marriage of Bhanumati, his daughter, who was she getting married with? Duryodhan. Okay, who was Duryodhan?
Arjun's cousin.
Eldest of the Kauravas.
Arjun cousin.
Yes, they're cousins of Arjuna and all those, but then leader or the eldest of the Kauravas. Okay, so Bhanumati was married off to Duryodhan. That's why in the battle of Mahabharata, he had to support his son-in-law. Okay, he had to come in support of the Kauravas. That is the reason, because his daughter was married to the Kauravas, right? So that's why he supported the Kauravas in the battle of Mahabharata. And he was killed by Arjuna in the battle. Okay, who killed? Arjuna killed him. However, these titles that we see, these titles that we are seeing, are written in Mahabharata. Okay, who writes history? The victors always write history. So they gave the Arjuna and all these people, they gave a lot of respect to King Bhagadatta. Okay, in the history or in the epics, in the legends and in the stories of the people, he is always known as one who was the best wielder of elephant squad, one who was no less than Indra in battle, one who was known as the mighty king of the Mlecchas. So these titles were given out of reverence, out of respect after the battle of Mahabharata. All right. It was said that he was so old in the battle that his eye drops, the eyebrows drops and covers his eyes. So he had to tie a cloth and make his eyes open. Okay, and he fought like that, it seems, in the battle of Mahabharata. So that is the tale of Bhagadatta, the son of whom? Who was his father?
Narakasur.
Narakasur. Okay, the son of Narakasur. After Bhagadatta, we had several kings like all this Pushpadatta or Vajradatta, Subahu, Suporva. So just remember these two names, Subahu and Suporva, who are the last kings of Bhauma Dynasty. You might just get. So if you get any one of the name, if you don't see Suporva or for example, if you just see Subahu, there is no mention of Suporva, so you will tick on Subahu. Okay, but if you see both the names, then you will tick on Suporva, okay, as the last king of Bhauma Dynasty. Okay, last king of Bhauma Dynasty. So this was Kamrup here. Kamrup kings, starting from Mahiranga Danav to Bhagadatta and the later kings of Bhauma Dynasty. This was Central Assam at that time, Sonitpur, which was also a kingdom. And this is Eastern Assam. Okay, Vidarbha or Sodia, ruled by Bhismaka. They are all contemporary. Okay, Narakasur, Bhismaka was ruling that side. However, in Asura Dynasty, Asura Dynasty of Sonitpur was founded by Moryachi. Okay, it was passed down from Kashyap to Hiranyakashipu, then Prahlad, then Bali, then Bana. So Bana was the contemporary of Narakasur. Okay, Bana was the contemporary of Narakasur. This king Bali is regarded as the grandfather of Bana. Okay, Bali is regarded as grandfather of Bana. That's why we have a place called Balipara. Okay, that was supposedly his capital and his area where he ruled from. Okay, Bali. Fine. Bali grandfather. So many a times they might confuse you with topics like father, grandfather. So don't worry about those father, grandfather or type of questions. Okay, because it is not very clear whether they're father, grandfather, son or grandson. Okay, fine. So Bali was the ancestor of Bana, from where we get Balipara in the present day Tejpur. Bhaluka was the grandson of Bana. Okay, Bana's grandson was Bhaluka, who came into the throne after Bana, and he made Bhalukpong, present day Bhalukpong. Okay, present day Bhalukpong. Okay, now like I said, Bana, he was a contemporary of Narakasura. Alright, contemporary of Narakasura. Because of this character, Bana character, the bad influence of the society, he influenced Narakasura, and they got drunk together, they hunted together, they killed wild animals, they ruled with iron fist, and all those nonsense are there. Okay, they did all the nonsense together. That's why Krishna was angry and killed Narakasura and installed Bhagadatta as the next king of Kamrup. However, after Bana, it was your Bhaluka. Okay, fine. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? I want to finish the prehistorical kings today. Okay, prehistorical kings means all the mythological kings today. Okay, so far you can see. So Kamrup was divided into 4 parts according to Yogini Tantra. All right, and these kings were ruling, these dynasties were ruling accordingly in those areas. Let's come to the Asura Dynasty of Sonitpur. Okay, Asura Dynasty of Sonitpur. Founder was known as Morisi or Morisi. The most powerful king was Banasura, son of Bali. Okay, Banasura, who was the contemporary of Narakasura. So I'm telling again and again, Narakasura was a contemporary of Banasura, or Banasura was the contemporary of Narakasura, meaning they were together at the same time. Okay, capital Tejpur, Okay, this dynasty is attributed to Mahabhairav temple in Tejpur. Mahabhairav temple in Tejpur is a Shiva temple. Till now it's there. They are attributed to this temple, meaning they started building this temple. Okay, they were the ones who built this temple, it seems. And this temple's unique feature is that the stone inside the temple is living. What do you mean by living stone?
It's growing.
You can say it's growing. Okay, or it takes shape on its own. Okay, fine. So this Asura dynasty is regarded to build Mahabhairav temple. So remember who built Mahabhairav temple. If you get Banasura in the option, tick Banasura and come, or if you get Asura dynasty, tick Asura dynasty and come. So Banasura also had a daughter called Usha. Okay, he also had a daughter called Usha, and this Usha, this daughter of Banasura, fell in love with the grandson of Krishna. What was his name? Anirudh. Okay, she fell in love. Okay, so to help Usha's best friend Chitralekha, okay, she knew a little bit of magic. Okay, she knew a little bit of whatever you can call it, black magic or sorcery. So she brought them together, Usha and Anirudh together. Okay, she brought them together. All right, she brought them together, and because of this, Banasura knew who killed his friend. By the way, Narakasura was killed by whom?
Krishna.
Narakasura. Yeah, so Banasura's best friend Narakasur was killed by Krishna. All right. Now I'm just giving you an idea. So when he knew Anirudh, the grandson, was in Assam, what will Banasura do? They captured him. Okay, Anirudh was captured by Banasura and kept in Agnigar as a prisoner. Okay, kept in Agnigar. Now I told you Mahabhairav temple is what temple? Which god's temple? Shiva temple. Okay. So Banasura was a devotee of Lord Shiva, according to the stories. Okay. He was a big fan or devotee of Shiva. Okay. So when Krishna knew that his grandson was already imprisoned by Banasura, what will he do? Krishna will come again. So he came again. Okay. And because of that, we had this battle. Harihar Yudh. So what is the meaning of Harihar? This is two words actually. Harihar comes from two words. Hori plus Har. Who is Hori?
Sri Krishna.
And Har is?
Mahadev.
Shiva. Okay. So because Banasura knew he needed some external power to defeat Krishna, so he requested Shiva to come in his support. So Shiva, seeing his devotion and everything in according to the stories, he started helping in the battle, and that battle came to be known as Harihar Yudh. Okay, Harihar Yudh. And because of this battle, there was so much blood in the place. That is why that place is known as Sonitpur or Tejpur. Okay, the origin of Tejpur or Sonitpur name we come to know. Because of Harihar Yudh, there was so much blood according to the legends and stories that the whole area was filled like a blood town, filled with redness. That is why it is known as Sonitpur or Tejpur. Honit means blood. Okay, fine. After the battle, Banasura is thrown or killed. His grandson comes to power, Bhaluka. Okay, Bhaluka comes to power, and this Akka and Russo people of Arunachal Pradesh, Akka and Russo tribe. Okay, please look up to this tribe. They claim descent from Ban Asur or Bhaluka. Okay, they claim descent from Bhaluka. That is why in Bhalukpong there is this place which was named after Bhaluka. This Akka people claim descent. Claim descent means they see their ancestors. Okay, Bhaluka they believe as their ancestor. Claim descent. So in this picture you can see the cute two little kids in Akka attire. So this is the Akka attire Can you see this headgear? Everyone can see this headgear?
Yes, sir.
Does this remind of
Yes.
does this remind you of your Mahabharata and Ramayana cartoons and all those? Look at the headgear. It is actually from that inspiration only. Okay, it is actually from that inspiration in Mahabharata and Ramayana. They have built their headgear in that way only. So probably it is true that they claiming descent from Bhaluka is true. All right. However, they are a minor tribe now in Arunachal Pradesh. They used to be known as Aka before. Okay, like how Karbis were known as Mikir, they used to be known as Aka. Now they are known as Russo. Okay, the real name is Russo. Why they were known as Aka? Aka was given by Assamese people to this people.
Because they used to have pins
Because their
in their
faces
faces.
had tattoos before. Okay, tattoos or paint. Okay, that is why they were known as Akas, but they are called as Russo. Okay, Russo tribe of Arunachal Pradesh. Now all these story sources comes from Kumar Haran, which was written by Ananta Kandali much later in like 14th 15th centuries it was written. All right, much later. Okay, not that time, it was written much later. So this is the source of the story about Ban Asura. Okay, the Asura dynasty of Sonitpur. So Aka people claim descent from Bhaluka, the grandson of Bana. However, they have this traditional festival. Aka, please remember from your culture point of view, someone was saying art and culture of Assam or Northeast. This is what is important. Netrido, they celebrate in November, their important festival. They follow Nezi Au, their deity called Sky Father, and No Ain, Art Mother. Okay, this is their important traditional festival in November, and the goddess or the indigenous deities are Nezi Au and No Ain, Earth Mother. Okay, fine. This was about Banasura. On the eastern side of Assam at that time, we had a capital. We had a kingdom called Vidarbha, who was ruled by Bhismaka, a king called Bhismaka. Okay, the capital was called Kundina or Kundil Nagar. Okay, on the bank of river Kundil. So Kundil is none other than your present day Sabia. Okay, so he also had a daughter called Rukmini. Now this daughter fell in love with Krishna. Okay, but Bhishmaka and his family wanted daughter Rukmini to get married with a known chief of that area called Shishupala. Okay, however, Rukmini rejected, and Krishna comes and takes away Rukmini from Vidarbha Kingdom. All right, Vidarbha Kingdom, and that is the story of Rukmini Haran, which was written by Shankardeva. Okay, Rukmini Haran. What is the story of Rukmini Haran? That Krishna came and took away the daughter of Bhishmaka. They got married. Love marriage happened between them. All right. Another source of information is Bhagavata Purana, which was written by Ved Vyas. He also mentions about this Vidarbha kingdom. Okay. Now this kingdom, Vidarbha kingdom, you will see across all Indian texts. Even in South India, you will see Vidarbha. Even in Western India, you will see Vidarbha. So Shankardeva mentions that Vidarbha was a kingdom in Assam and like that, all right. But this is again origins and stories and mythology. However, the Sutia kings and Idu Mishmis of Arunachal Pradesh claim descent from Bhismaka. Okay, that's why there is a place in Arunachal Pradesh after Roing, near Roing, called Bhismak Nagar. Okay, called Bhismak Nagar. So Idu Mishmi and Sutia kings claim descent from Bhismaka. Okay, claim descent from Bhismaka. So on the left, you can see a Sutia woman. She worshipped Kundi Mama or Balya Baba, Pishadima, and Kachai Khati, which we'll discuss later also. Kachai Khati. Okay. Then on the right hand side, you'll see the Idu Mishmi group of tribes from Arunachal Pradesh. They worship Maselozinu, and Nani Intaya. Festivals are Re in February and Kemeha in September. Okay, this group claimed descent from Bhismaka. Fine. Any questions? Any questions? Any question? Okay. Fine. So now my question to you is, why did this group of people like Aka, Russo, Sutia, or Idu Mishmi claimed descent from a mythical king? What was the reason of these people to claim descent from these kings? What was the reason?
So for greater identity.
For
greater identity.
Greater identity.
Sir, for claim over land.
Claiming over land. Yeah, somewhat you're right there. When they were growing in numbers, okay, when they were becoming powerful, when you are powerful, you claim descent from something. Yeah, Modi ji can say he is not natural, right? If he can say that, why not these people, right? Modi ji said no. Sometimes मुझे लगता है मैं biological नहीं हूँ. So by saying that, what does he mean? That means he is divine. And because of that, some people have created a temple in Gujarat, Modi temple, Narendra Modi temple. So to attain divine status, okay, all human beings have a desire to attain a divine status, okay, psychologically. Everyone, you, me, even all of us, in deep down, we want to be someone powerful. We want to be someone divine. Okay, that is our human nature. All right, that is one fact. However, what Creative Vibe number 1 have said, to claim land also is another reason. Okay, to claim land territories, they had to claim a descent, that our father was there, so we will rule. Okay, for example, Kuki people say that they are descendants from an Israeli tribe called Manasa. Okay, Bnei Manasseh, right? So that's why they got some of the Kuki-Zo people, they got some citizenship in Israel. You know this, I think, from current affairs. Why they allowed them to come to Israel? Because they also agreed that maybe in the history they were part of this tribe, they were part of this group. That's why they got citizenship. So what Creative Vibe number 1 said is true. We try to claim some descent so that we get some citizenship, so that we get some land, or personally we want to grow as a strong leader. Okay, we want to grow as a strong leader. All right, so this was all about today's class. We have completed the prehistoric kings, prehistoric dynasties today. Okay, the first kingdom we knew was Danava. Okay, who was ruled by Mahiranga Danav and his sons later on, Hatakasur, Sambarasur, Ratnasur, and Ghatakasur. All right. Then after that comes Narakasur of Bhauma Dynasty. Okay, he was the one who brought the Aryans inside Northeast. He was also influenced by Banasura. There is the story of Kamakhya in his record. So this king is very, very important also. Then his son was very, very important for this year's prelims paper. This is very, very important king called Bhagadatta, on whose name we have 2 flyovers, Bhagadatta 1, Bhagadatta 2, maybe third one also will come out soon. We never know. Okay, so like the names of flyover, he was also known as mighty king of Mlechas. Mlechas are who? The Mek Kosari. Okay, the Mes Kosari. He was not inferior to Indra in battle. All these titles are there. He was known as Sailalya, mountain dweller, all those things. The story of Digolupikhuri comes in, right? And after that, we saw the contemporary kings on the east and central Assam. One of them, central Assam, is the Asura Dynasty of Sonitpur. We know the battle of Harihar Youth between the battle of Krishna and Shiva. Why? We understood the logic. And the temple of Mahabhairav temple, which is still there in Tejpur. Why? Whose kingdom it came up to be, we also knew, right? And the tribe called Russo, who claimed descent from this group of people. Then in the eastern Assam, we had the kingdom of Vidarbha, where Sutiya kings, later Sutiya kings and Idumishmik tribe claimed descent. What are the sources? All this mentioned 2 sources are there, all right? And the story of Rukmini and Krishna we get from this story, okay? So any questions now? Any questions? Is it helping you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the notes, where to find the notes, class notes? Like I said, I have a Telegram channel. All the files regarding all the classes that we are doing online, especially with Guwahati students, you get all the notes there. Okay. So please follow that and try to get the notes from this group. Okay. Fine. So I'll see you tomorrow with the rest of the history. We have finished with mythology. So enjoy your evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, group নামটো কি হয়?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Group name
Where can
কি
you find
হয়?
the link, sir?
It's in the chat.
Telegram link.
It's in the
Okay.
chat. Go up to the chat. You'll find. Okay. If you don't find, message me on the group. Okay, WhatsApp group. I'll send it. But it's in the chat.
You mean WhatsApp group, sir?
I'm sending you again here.
Hello.
In this chat.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it now, sir. Thank you.